In the second video, we are going to take a look at your two special right triangles to find the values of sine, cosine, and tangent for each of these triangles. This will require some rationalizing, and I'm just going to put on the side the equivalent radian measures for each of these. So for 45 degrees, the equivalent radian is pi over 4. For 30 degrees, the equivalent radian measure is pi over 6. And for 60 degrees, the equivalent radian measure is pi over 3. These are going to be your important 3 angles that are going to help us with generating all of our other exact value angles, again, when you go further along in trig. So in order to do this, we're going to look at these triangles the way they are right now. And then in your future, you're going to look at something called the unit circle, and this will be simplified down a little bit. So for 30, we're going to be focusing here and looking. Now I'm going to label this triangle, and then we have to relabel it for 60. So this is my opposite, this is my adjacent, and this is my hypotenuse. So make sure you're doing this in pencil so you can erase it and change it around later. For the 45, it doesn't matter because you have 2 of them, so I'll probably just do this one and do this as opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. But since both are 45, 2 of the values end up being the same anyway. So for 30, if we do opposite over hypotenuse for this one, we'll end up getting 1/2. That's our final answer for that. For cosine 30, if we do adjacent over hypotenuse, we get square root of 3 over 2. Again, we'll leave our answer in that format. And then for tangent of 30, we're doing opposite over adjacent, so we end up getting 1 over root 3. Just like previously, we will have to rationalize that, so you're going to multiply by root 3 over root 3. And when you simplify, you will get square root of 3 over 3 as your final result. Now you're going to notice you'll see some repeats of answers because 60 and 30 come from the same triangle. So we're going to do 60 next. I'm going to erase what we have here, and now we're looking at the 60 degrees. So the hypotenuse stays the same, but our opposite and our adjacent switch. So now our sine is root 3 over 2, because that's our opposite over our hypotenuse. Notice this is the same as cosine 30, just to make a little observation about that. And it makes sense because it's coming from the same triangle. And then cosine of 60, our adjacent over hypotenuse, will be 1/2. And that's the same as sine of 30. So our sine and cosine values are definitely going to repeat since we're using the same triangle to find that information. And then for tangent of 60, our opposite is root 3 this time over 1, which is the adjacent. So there's no rationalizing needed here. It's just going to be root 3. So you'll see that's different than the other one because it's just the flipped over version of that. Now I'm going to have to scroll back and forth a little for this last one. For 45 degrees, when we do opposite over hypotenuse, we'll get 1 over root 2. And you'll actually get the same thing for the adjacent over hypotenuse. So I'm only going to rationalize this once. Since it's the same rationalizing, we're going to multiply by root 2 over root 2. So we get root 2 over 2 for sine of 45. And then same with this one, also equal to root 2 over 2. So the cool thing about the 45 degrees is your sine and cosine values are exactly the same. And then your value for tangent, when you do opposite over adjacent, you're just doing 1 over 1. So you're getting that value equal to 1. These are ratios that are going to become part of your memory bank when you go further in trig. So it's good to see them now for the first time to start getting used to them.